the Alpha Compressor. It was released in 2005 and it's a mastering grade compressor. Our technology is all discrete class A, and this is not exception. No exception with the Alpha. The specific features of the Alpha compressor is the fact that you can get you have an MS matrix on the compressor, so you can address the side and the center of your mix separately, and also get a dual topology, so you can mix and match different features that will give you well, the best of both worlds, and give you the ability to address problems that you couldn't solve before without these kind of features. So more precisely, we're talking about being able to grab fast transients without touching the rest of the audio. Like for instance, we have auto fast on the attack and release. So I can engage the auto fast, let's say on the center, to catch the peaks of a snare drum and make sure that it won't affect my hi-hats or the vocals or, you know, stuff in my mix on my source that I don't want to damage. We have the same, we have the auto fast on the release, so that in the same way we will release at the maximum release time on what needs to be addressed and keep what we deem the most appropriate for the source for the rest of the audio. On the lower section of the middle section of the compressor, we find the filter section, which is the EQ, the tilt EQ, and the sidechain filter. Again, since we have an MS matrix, then we can have different settings on the center and on the side. So for instance, since the left side is the center, I can engage the EQ. Then let's say, okay, I want things to be reduced below 100 Hertz. And what this EQ does is, when you reduce, you also boost above and reduce below, or the other way around. The sidechain filter, I can also decide on leaving the kick and the bass. If we are talking about program material, we can keep the low end extension of the kick and the bass and compress with just what's above, let's say 100 Hertz or 200, even up to 3.3 kilohertz, so that it sort of reacts like a de-esser to the source. So it's very convenient to, well, tailor your low end, or just use the range of the frequency spectrum you want to compress the most and leave the rest intact. On the bottom section, we find the mix, which is the parallel compression. And that's the option of the parallel compression. I don't know how to say it better, but well, the mix knob gives you the ability to choose between a mix of the direct and compressed signal and everything in between. So if you, let's say, compress a lot to give your track more of a loudness, but want to retain the original dynamics of the track, then let your ears decide for yourself what's the best position. If you want 100% compressed, or maybe just 30% of the compressed sound mixed with the original. Gain makeup, obvious. We will compensate for what we compressed, followed by the transformer. That is meant to add a certain type of coloration. Since a mastering compressor is not supposed to give a lot of color to the audio, but this transformer will add this bit of mojo that you may find useful in the context of your track. And the last one in the chain is the soft clip limiter. When we engage it, it reacts a bit like tape, rounding up the transients progressively and giving us more headroom at the end of the chain, so we get more loudness and volume out of our track. Channel link.
Okay, running.
Channel link, so we can just use it as a standard stereo compressor, or we unlink it so that we can use the MS matrix at its best, while making sure that if we want to address the center, we won't be touching the side and vice versa, or maybe come up with a different setting on both sides to address different frequency spectrums, different dynamic problems, and in the end have a great sounding track. That's the whole purpose of this box.